I'm Ben. I'm a data engineer at ActiveCampaign. So I'll just start off a little bit about us. We're a marketing automation company, and we serve over 65,000 businesses, and we have a PHP monolith. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to talk about is the transition that we are now making from PHP to Python. And while that is going to be a long and drawn-out process that thankfully I don't really have to do much of, the default language that we are now using to build new services is Python. And so I'm just sort of going to talk about some of the use cases that we found and sort of why we're using Python. So first off, the thing that I'm most doing on the team is data science. And so to be fair, our data team has been around for about 2 years now, and we started using Python. But that's just because of the sort of open source ecosystem that exists, as you saw in the first talk. And so we use Airflow, which is essentially a ETL workflow manager, and we use that to bring data into our data warehouse, which we then build our models on top of. We use algorithm frameworks like LightFM and XGBoost to actually run the models themselves. We use MLflow, which essentially is a way to track and sort of compare the performance of models as you change hyperparameters and you change data sets and you change model versions. And so it essentially lets us sort of track that over time and have a replicable way of sort of seeing that. And then, of course, there's just various lightweight micro frameworks for serving those models and quickly sort of getting from a model to an independent service. Another way is a task manager. So Python works really well as a sort of a mediator between other processes and other services. So what we used to have is essentially this SQS queue with a bunch of PHP commands in them. And there was a bunch of instances that are all running PHP and are greedily taking as many commands off the queue as possible and running them locally. No matter how many commands they're currently processing, or if all their cores are maxed out, they will take as many processes as they can. And so instead, we rewrote it in Python. And so we're using the multiprocessing pool. We're using subprocess to essentially delegate to the PHP commands. And then we're using logging to actually track whether the things that we're running have succeeded or not and what the output is. And so now it looks like this, and the PHP is still in the picture, but it's essentially a lot more transparent of the system, and it just works a lot better. And then lastly, our main bread and butter is sending emails. And so we're building a new email sending service that is trying to achieve 3,000 campaigns a minute, which comes out to about 500,000 emails per minute. And so this is a task that is incredibly IO-bound. It's embarrassingly parallelizable. It's async, and it's very inconsistent as far as how many emails we're trying to send at any given moment. And so we were able to design this as a serverless a bunch of Python functions. And so it uses SNS and SQS to schedule those emails, and then it uses Python to validate them and then send them onto the web server. But this allows us to, at much lower cost, and with much better scalability, send messages as we're getting more and more customers. So yeah, I just want to let everyone know that we're hiring. We will take as many Python full stack developers as we can get our hands on. And yeah, no PHP required. Probably. I didn't actually ask the hiring manager.
Noel from Imagineering, want to come up while we're getting set up? Noel? All right. So as he gets set up, who's got a question? Somebody's certainly got a question.
It's okay if you don't.
So why not PHP?
Why not PHP?
Why not PHP? I mean, part of the reason is that we can't find enough PHP developers to do everything that we want to do, but also sort of, as I was talking about with the data science thing, just having a uniformity of language across the whole platform, and there's a lot of things that we can't really do in PHP, or we have to do it ourselves because the developers just don't exist, and the ecosystem isn't there as much as it is for other languages on the platform.
Awesome. One more round of applause.